If you are watching this right now, you are witnessing the biggest economic realignment since the fall of the Berlin Wall. On one side, you have Donald Trump, the most powerful man on earth, convinced he holds every card in the deck. On the other side, you have a coalition of trading partners calm, strategic, and absolutely furious, who just played a move nobody saw coming. And Donald Trump's trade destruction is about to make your groceries, your gas, and your retirement savings significantly more expensive. You are watching history unfold right now in real time. Just 30 days ago, Donald Trump thought he had the ultimate leverage over every nation on this planet. He did not. His trading partners did not shout back. They did not panic. They simply started canceling orders, rerouting supply chains, and signing new deals without America at the table. Now let's look at the mountain of receipts. Breaking right now. Receipt 1, the $1.6 trillion burial. Receipt 2, the grocery store ambush. Receipt 3, the retirement account massacre. Receipt 4, the ally betrayal nobody reported. Receipt 5, the door that just slammed shut. Stay with me, because what comes next will shock you. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button right now, because the story I am about to tell you, the mainstream media will never cover it this way. The first receipt is called the $1.6 trillion burial. Here is what happened. The United States had a functioning global trade architecture worth an estimated $1.6 trillion in annual exchange value built over 30 years across dozens of partner agreements. Trump did not renegotiate it. He torched it with a single executive. Tariff action. He slapped duties ranging from 10% to 54% on imports from more than 90 countries simultaneously. The result? Canada began rerouting steel and aluminum to Europe. China accelerated its trade agreements with Brazil, Australia, and Southeast Asia. The European Union launched emergency consultations to build a unified retaliatory framework. American farmers in Iowa, Nebraska, and Ohio, who voted overwhelmingly for this administration, are now watching their soybean export contracts get canceled one by one. The American Farm Bureau Federation confirmed that agricultural export losses could exceed $27 billion this year alone. $27 billion gone from your American heartland, from American workers, from American families, and the global buyers who used to depend on us. They found somebody else. But the second receipt is where things get truly catastrophic for your wallet specifically. The second receipt is called the grocery store ambush. You need to hear this number. The average American household spends approximately $9,800 per year on groceries. That number is already at a historic high. After 4 years of inflation. Now here is what the tariffs are doing to your grocery store right now. Avocados, nearly 90% imported from Mexico, are projected to rise 40% to 60% in price. Bananas from Guatemala and Honduras face new import cost structures that retailers say will push retail prices up 25%. Coffee. Nearly all of it imported faces cost increases that roasters like Starbucks, Folgers, and Dunkin' are already passing directly to you. The National Retail Federation issued a formal warning. They said, and I am quoting directly, that American consumers face unavoidable and significant price increases across essential food categories. That is not a political opinion. That is a trade industry warning from the people who stock your shelves. For seniors on fixed incomes, Social Security adjustments will not cover these increases. Not even close. Your budget is the casualty of this political chess game. But the third receipt is where your retirement savings enter this disaster. The third receipt is called the retirement account massacre. Within 72 hours of Trump's sweeping tariff announcement, the Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped more than 2,200 points. The S&P 500 shed 4.8% of its total value in a single session. The Nasdaq collapsed by more than 6%. If you have a $401,000 worth $300,000 and millions of Americans aged 60 to 75 do, a 5% market drop just erased $15,000 from your future. Not a politician's future, not a billionaire's future. Your future. JPMorgan Chase economists raised the probability of a full U.S. recession to 60%. Goldman Sachs followed within 48 hours with their own recession warning. These are not liberal think tanks. These are the banks that manage the money of Fortune 500 companies. And here is what makes this devastating for seniors specifically. You do not have 20 years to wait for a market recovery. You need that money now, or in 5 years, or in 10. The window to absorb this kind of shock is gone for millions of Americans in this audience. But there are 2 more receipts, and receipt for the ally betrayal may be the most enraging thing you hear today. The fourth receipt is called the Ally Betrayal Nobody Reported. Canada, the United Kingdom, Japan, South Korea, and Australia. America's 5 closest strategic allies were all hit with tariffs under this action. Not enemies, allies, Canada retaliated with $155 billion CAD and counter tariffs targeting American-made goods. The United Kingdom opened formal trade talks with China for the first time in 6 years. Japan's prime minister publicly stated that the US-Japan alliance needed to be fundamentally reassessed. These are not adversaries turning their backs. These are friends, and Trump just slammed the door in their faces. The fifth receipt is the door that just slammed shut on American global leadership permanently. The fifth receipt is called the door that just slammed shut. The World Trade Organization, the global body that referees international trade disputes, formally ruled that the United States' tariff actions violate standing international trade law. The ruling was 164 nations to 164 countries against America. 1. The rest of the world is not backing down. They are building a new trade architecture, and they are building it without us. America's seat at the table of global economic leadership has not just been challenged, it has been vacated. But you need to understand how this is going to crash into your everyday life. But you need to understand how this is going to crash into your everyday life. Think about walking into a grocery store next month. The price tag on your orange juice is up 30%. Your chicken is up 18%. The bread you have bought for 40 years costs $1.2 more per loaf. That does not sound like much until you multiply it. Across every single item in your cart, every single week, every single month, think about your gas prices. The ripple effects of retaliatory tariffs on energy sector components and refinery equipment are already pushing regional fuel prices toward $4.5 and beyond in parts of the Midwest and Southeast. Think about your retirement savings and your $401,000. Every market tremor triggered by this trade war is not a number on a screen. It is a year of your retirement. It is a vacation you will not take. It is a grandchild's college fund that falls just short. These are not abstract political numbers. This is your money, your future, and the people making these decisions will never stand in your grocery store checkout line. They will never feel your anxiety at the ATM, but you will, starting today. So where does this go from here? There are 3 possible scenarios unfolding right now, and you need to understand all 3. Scenario A, the humiliation handshake. Trump's trading partners hold the line for 60 to 90 days. Markets continue to bleed. American farmers and manufacturers flood Congress with emergency lobbying. Republican senators from agricultural states begin breaking ranks. Trump negotiates a face-saving partial rollback, calls it a win, but the tariffs on China remain. In this scenario, your grocery prices stabilize but do not fall. Your $401,000 recovers partially, but the $15,000 to $30,000 you already lost does not come back. America's credibility as a reliable trade partner is permanently damaged. Our allies will remember, and they will hedge. But there is a scenario even more terrifying than that. Scenario B, the escalation spiral. China retaliates with full targeted economic warfare, dumping U.S. Treasury bonds, restricting rare earth exports that American defense and technology industries cannot function without, and accelerating the de-dollarization push with Russia, Iran, and BRICS nations. In this scenario, your mortgage rate climbs above 9%. Your grocery bill increases by $200 to $300 per month. The American stock market enters a prolonged bear cycle lasting 18 to 36 months. Unemployment climbs above 7%. The Federal Reserve faces an impossible choice: fight inflation or fight recession, and cannot do both. But there is a scenario even more terrifying than that. Scenario C, the full collapse, the American isolation event. Every major trading bloc finalizes alternative arrangements. The dollar loses its status as the world's primary reserve currency, a process that could take 5 years or 5 months depending on trigger events. Your Social Security cost of living adjustment cannot keep pace with the resulting inflation. Your savings account loses purchasing power every single month. American manufacturing does not return fast enough to replace what trade provided. And the global economy restructures permanently around a table that no longer has an American seat. Regardless of which scenario plays out, one absolute truth remains. The era of unchallenged American economic dominance is over. It did not end with a war. It ended because the men and women entrusted with protecting your financial future decided that political theater was more important than your grocery bill. The mainstream media is too afraid to tell you how badly the American working class just Lost in this trade war, they will cover the press conferences. They will show you the handshakes. They will replay the bravado. But they will not show you the Iowa farmer staring at a canceled contract. They will not show you the 68-year-old retiree watching her 401,000 evaporate. But we are going to give you the raw unfiltered truth. Every single time, you were promised that tariffs would bring manufacturing home, lower your prices, and make America dominant again. Is this the dominance you were promised? Are these the lower prices? Is this the winning? You deserve an honest answer, not a campaign slogan. The greatest nation in the history of this world does not win by making its own citizens afraid to open their grocery store receipt. And yet here we are. If this video told you something the evening news refused to hit subscribe right now and turn on every notification, you cannot afford to miss the next update. This story is moving fast and the next development could hit your wallet within days. Now drop your answer in the comments. Did Trump just destroy American economic leadership for a generation, or did decades of bad trade deals make this inevitable? I read every single comment.